Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great Sunday today. Welcome to another episode of Chronicles and Cocktails. I'm Josue, the spirited historian. In this episode, we're going to be talking about San Juan, Old San Juan specifically. San Juan is a municipality in Puerto Rico, one of 78 municipalities in the entire Free Associated States. Inside the municipality of San Juan, you have different areas, one of them being Old San Juan, the original city. This is the city that started Puerto Rico, although it did not start right where it is. It started in what is now known as Caparra. The story of Old San Juan begins not in San Juan itself, but in Caparra, just a few miles inland. That was the first Spanish settlement on the island, established in 1508 by Juan Ponce de León. But it didn't last long. The settlers quickly realized that being inland meant heat, mosquitoes, and a tough time defending themselves. So by 1521, the settlement moved to the small isle we call now San Juan. Protected by the bay, it was the perfect location for trade and defense. And that decision to relocate the original city is what gave birth to Old San Juan as we know it today. Historians, until now, have said that Old San Juan was founded in 1521 when it moved from Caparra to the place where it is today. But historian Francisco Moscoso in his book Fundación de San Juan en 1522 argues that the traditional founding date of San Juan, 1521, is incorrect and that the actual founding year was 1522. Moscoso's research, based on primary documentation, reconstructs the relocation of the settlement of Caparra to the Isleta de San Juan and suggests the official founding of the city occurred when the formal construction began in 1522, rather than the previous year. You can find a link, and I'm going to put it down in the description below, of a summary of his book that talks a little bit about what Francisco Moscoso, who is actually a very well-known and respected historian, has published many books. I think he has published over 20 books, and he offers conferences around Puerto Rico. I've actually been to one at the Genealogical Society of Puerto Rico, which I'm a member of. The first chapter in his book indicates that some trusted historical facts were published in the late 19th and early 20th century by people lacking a formal education and training in history. Although the foundational act has not been found, the year has stuck in the local collective memory. So what he's saying here is that people that weren't actually historians started saying that the move or the founding was made in 1521. And he argues that they have no evidence or a real analysis to support that idea. And then from there on, we've all kept saying Old San Juan was founded in 1521. In the book, Moscoso concludes that because none of the official buildings had been completed in 1521, it is reasonable to assume that the city was not founded in 1521, but rather in 1522. And this is supported by the testimony of Baltasar de Castro. Until new documentation is found, there will be some historians advocating for 1521, while other historians agree with Moscoso. Nevertheless, the city was founded in the early 1500s or the 16th century, and that makes San Juan the oldest city within United States jurisdiction, and only the second oldest city, European city, in all of the Americas. We're going to talk about the flag of Old San Juan, which is very majestic and very simple at the same time. The flag of San Juan tells a story almost 5 centuries old. At its heart is the Lamb of St. John the Baptist, patron saint of the city, carrying a red cross flag of faith, granted by Spain's King Charles I in 1523. This emblem became the city's symbol, reminding us that San Juan was the capital of the New World. Today, the white flag with its historic coat of arms still waves proudly at City Hall, a mark of faith, resilience, and the city's place in history, especially not just in Puerto Rican history, but Caribbean history. Remember, and I'm gonna say it again, it's the second oldest European settlement in the Americas. And of course, we can't talk about Old San Juan without talking about the forts, the historic forts that protected the city. But before we do that, before we talk about the forts, we're gonna prepare the Old San Juan cocktail. So, let's go and let's make some drinks. This is my favorite part of the episode, where we get to try the cocktails. Today we're trying the Old San Juan. The Old San Juan is a very nice, classy cocktail. You can sit down, talk like we're talking right now, you know? This is a very simple cocktail. So we need rum, a good rum, an aged rum. We need red sweet vermouth. We're gonna use Angostura bitters for this, and we're gonna need an orange. One very important thing is that I took out the ice a couple of minutes ago. Why did I take it out before using it? We're gonna use that big square piece of ice. You ever notice how when you put ice and you pour a liquor over it, it kind of cracks, right? Well, we don't want that. That's why we're taking it out. This cocktail is very similar to the old fashioned, but it's not quite the same. So I'm gonna add the honey, more or less the bar spoon, just like so. And that I'm gonna mix with a little bit of water. After that, we're gonna add 3 dashes of Angostura bitters. Gonna cut an orange. Just like so. And we're gonna squeeze just a little bit, just a few drops. And we're gonna take the jigger, we're gonna use the 1/2 ounce, and we're gonna do 1/2 ounce of martini rosso. After that, 2 ounces of rum. This is actually a little bit less than 2 ounces. So we're gonna do a little bit more. And look at this color. We're gonna add a little bit of ice to that. Just a few pieces of ice. We always taste it. That's actually very good. So we take the old-fashioned glass and we're gonna grab the ice, which is all cleared out. See that? we're just gonna drop it in there, in place, just like so. We cover with a strainer, and we're gonna pour that over the ice. And to finish it off, we're gonna take an orange and peel out the skin just like so. We can clean it up a little bit. We want the oils of the orange to go right in. So what we're gonna do is just squeeze like so, and you see how it all went in, and that perfumes the cocktail. We're just gonna drop it and just give it a little swirl just like that. We can add a cherry and just drop it right in. And there you go, history lovers, the Old San Juan. Salud. Yes, it comes out a little bit stronger than the old fashioned, but you can taste the rum, the earthiness of the rum, and you can definitely taste the difference in the honey. That's right. A little bit of rum. Very nice. So, the forts. What can we say about the forts? These are very historic forts. Some of them have been here since the early mid 1500s. It began with the Castillo San Felipe del Morro, built in 1539, rising above the entrance to the bay. For centuries, it kept pirates and rival empires at bay, its cannons pointing toward the horizon. To protect the city from land, the Spanish built Castillo de San Cristóbal, a vast fortress completed in 1783, the largest Spanish fortification in the New World. But San Juan's shield went further. At the eastern edge of Condado, you'll find Fortín de San Jerónimo del Boquerón. Small but mighty, it replaced the older Fortín San Antonio and guarded the narrow channel into the city. In 1797, during the British attack, its cannons fired relentlessly, holding back invaders. Together with the city walls and the garitas, these defenses made San Juan nearly impregnable. They turned this small island capital into one of the most heavily fortified ports in the Americas. Today, El Morro y el Castillo San Cristóbal and the Castillo San Cristóbal are a UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and San Jerónimo still stands guard at the water's edge, dependent on the strength of its stone walls. This goes well with what we're talking about because we're learning some history, we're drinking a cocktail to go along with that history. And that's what I love. I love talking about history and my Puerto Rico to you, to all other Puerto Ricans. Cheers. Salud. Salud to everybody. And I hope you're enjoying it too. So please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends because I want this channel to grow. We're going to go visit the whole island and the neighboring islands that are part of Puerto Rico. Also, we're doing some additional traveling, and we've done some additional traveling in the past that connect with Puerto Rico. We're going to be in some really cool places. Some of the places are part of my history, my personal history, places I've been, and places I'm going to. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, and share. If the forts were San Juan's shield, the plazas were its heart. Every Spanish colonial city was designed around a central square, a place for gathering, commerce, and civic life. The Old San Juan, Plaza de Armas, has been that center since the 16th century, framed by government buildings and alive with daily life. Just a few blocks away, Plaza de Colón honors Christopher Columbus with its marble statue, where in the 19th century, the old city gate once stood, and at the edge of the bay, Paseo de la Princesa opened into a plaza of fountains, music, and artisans. These spaces were more than open squares. They were theaters of history, where power, faith, and community met. Today, they remain the soul of Old San Juan, as vibrant as the day they were first laid in stone. And of course, we can't talk about Old San Juan without talking about the cathedral, San Juan de Bautista. Founded in 1521, it's the second oldest cathedral in all of the Americas. And it's the resting place, first governor of Puerto Rico, and the settler and governor of Florida, Juan Ponce de León. Some landmarks carry centuries of stories. Casablanca, originally built for Juan Ponce de León's family, stood as one of the first residences on the island. The Paseo de la Princesa, built in 19th century, is one of the most scenic promenades leading to La Puerta de San Juan, the grand entrance where governors, bishops, and royalty once walked into the city. Then there's Puerta de Tierra. At one time, it was the only land entrance into the walled city from the east. But in the early 20th century, as San Juan expanded beyond the original walls, Puerta de Tierra was demolished to make way for modern growth, a symbol of the city itself to a new era. This is a map of Old San Juan. San Felipe del Morro, that's in the upper left corner. San Cristóbal guards from the east, and you can see Plaza de Colón right just south of San Cristóbal. Then Plaza de Armas, then you have La Fortaleza, which is the governor's mansion. The orange is the original walls, and the blue one is the original city, and the green line is Puerta de Tierra. Puerta de Tierra is named after the gate that, the one that we just talked about, that was the entrance to Old San Juan from the east, which is the only entrance, or was the only entrance from land. So that area right there became the new neighborhood. But Puerta de Tierra is still a neighborhood today, and you can see older buildings. And when I say older, definitely newer than Old San Juan, because Puerta de Tierra started slowly. But it was in 1896 that the mayor and the municipal administration tore down the wall just to open the old city into the new neighborhood. This is around the turn of the centuries of the 19th and the 20th century. And then in the first half, I would say, of the 20th century, Puerta de Tierra grew to be a hub for history, culture, and politics. It is in the 20s that the capital is built. Also, the Carnegie Library, the Antiguo Casino de Puerto Rico, which was a place for upper-class residents to have their events, and it's still in use today. Many weddings and many events, high-profile events, take place there. Also, Casa de España was built in the same road. The National Olympic Team headquarters is in the same road, and today you have Avenida Constitución, or Constitution Avenue, that just runs from Old San Juan to Miramar in Santurce. So that whole area right there is a hub for many important buildings. What is Old San Juan? It's not just a tourist attraction, it's a living city, a place where history, culture, and community come together. And just like that, we are at the end of this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me in this journey. Please share, like, and subscribe. Until the next one, salud.